They're probably maintenance is probably, I don't know, probably 800,000 probably. They're like a city course, something like that. And then if you do, they used to do 100,000 rounds, and most of the rounds were 20 bucks a round, 25 bucks a round. So you kind of like multiply something like that out. So it's, but when your rounds now, some of their rounds have gone down. City courses to like 80,000. So once you kind of cut your rounds by 20,000, you kind of lose that revenue, and then you kind of have to look at other areas as far as because it's a big industry. It's they did a study about 8-10 years ago, I think, in New Mexico, and it was like $1 billion, $1.2 billion. Yeah, golf, but that included also golf, and included some agriculture and stuff like that. And that's just New Mexico. You take a place like Michigan, or you take a place like Florida, take a place like Colorado, you're talking $5-6 billion a year. Just in those states. And if you take the whole golf industry, you're talking probably 90 billion maybe a year. In business and jobs. People don't really realize that there's a lot of jobs, in golf. And also there's a lot of, you kind of see the PGA Tour, and they're like, well, yeah, we're up to $2 billion in charity. Well, if you take all the golf courses in the country, all the events they do, all the charitable events, they're like $5 billion a year. So I mean, there's a lot of money that's yes, there's a lot of money spent on golf, but there's also a lot of money that's raised in golf for charities and stuff like that, and also for people's livelihoods and jobs. So it's not just a game; it's a real big business. Yes.
Question: is there ever been any talk about bringing a golf facility here?
Top Golf, I have not heard of that. I'm not sure if this market could support that. We can barely support the kind of the clubs we got. There's been a couple country clubs that are kind of teetered on closing. They've changed hands, so I don't know if we could actually support that in this market. We're not like Denver, we're not like Phoenix, we're not like Vegas. Was there one in Dallas? Probably one in Dallas. I mean, we're just not a big enough market, I think, for that. And it's a great concept. It's really cool.
Yeah, I was just amazed at how long the wait was. Last time we went, a couple weeks ago, it was a 3-hour wait to get in.
Phoenix?
Yeah, Phoenix. And the previous time before that was 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah. I was
just curious if there had ever been talks about bringing one. I think the ones out there are more next to a casino, hockey stick, and I think there's another one down in Canada.
Maybe I'll mention that. Do you have a question, ma'am?
I just wondered, like, how many golf courses are there in New Mexico, and then how do you measure yourself against others? Like, what are the categories, and like, where do you stand?
Well, there's about 80, 85, and of course we're the best. What we kind of do in this market, the Albuquerque market, is we kind of try to be like a price structure. We're trying to be like a little bit less than like Sandia and Twin Warriors and Paco. But then we try to be kind of we're the same level like Santa Ana, UNM South. Who else am I? Kind of Cochiti. I know they're a little farther north. So then we try to be a little more expensive than the city courses, because we're nicer facilities than the city courses. So that's kind of where we try to market ourselves, is kind of in that because the location we're kind of separate. We're just a long way from the Northeast Heights and Rio Rancho, and for people in those areas to drive to us, they got to pass a lot of golf courses. So we kind of have to be a little less expensive, but then give them a little better product for the money. That's why we include the bottle. We started including this little bottle of water here about 6-8 years ago. We kind of put 4 on a cart, We include range balls in the price. We give little packs of tees. I think we got like 10 tees in a pack. So we kind of give those little extra things to the guests, so when they come down, it's a little better, a little more amenities for them. So we don't get the national rankings like Paco does because it's on the backside of the mountain, and Twin Warriors and stuff like that. So we try to. That's where we kind of try to market ourselves, kind of in that middle range. And when we have the GPS too, we were talking about that earlier. We have the GPS on the golf carts. We kind of show you where you're going, and then an ad pops up every hole. So marketing puts they put a lot of ads on there, so it's kind of good for them too. Yes.
I noticed in Hawaii once that they had special times of the day where if you went, say, 1 o'clock, instead of $100 a round, it was $80 a round or something like that. Do you have something like that?
Yes, we have our normal rates, and then we actually have senior rates Monday through Friday. Nobody would qualify in here because you got to be 60 and over.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Then we have a midday rate, which I think now is at, we really don't do it in the wintertime, but usually in the summertime the midday rates are like at noon. Then we have a twilight rate, which now is at 1 o'clock, but it's usually I think at 3 in the summer. And then we have a sundown rate, which is at 5. I think that's at 3 o'clock. So those kind of get adjusted with the time frame. We started the sundown rate because we used to have a twilight rate at 4, and then people would come out for like 4, and then like 6 o'clock. You can still get 9 holes in at 6 o'clock. I grew up in Michigan. You can almost play golf till 10 o'clock at night. So in the middle of the summer. So what we did is to give a little better price structure and a little better golf. We bumped the twilight back from 4 to 3, and then we added a sundown at 5. I think the sundown in the middle of summer is like $20 at 5 o'clock for as much as you can play with a cart. So it's a pretty good. I think the weekends it's like $25. So I mean, 5 o'clock you can almost get almost 18 holes in if there's not a lot of people in front of you. And what's good about we have 27 holes, so kind of that time frame we kind of try to use 2 9s to kind of get some extra play, and that's one good thing about the 27 holes. You can kind of get a little extra play at certain times. You can set your tee sheet up that way. So go ahead.
Are there a lot of programs to get youth involved in golf in New Mexico?
We do at our place. We usually do a junior clinic in the middle of July. It's like a 2-day clinic. A lot of the city courses, they have a few pros that kind of do a lot of clinics and stuff like that. So yes, there are. It just kind of depends on the golf course and what time of year. But a lot of the junior stuff is in the summertime, kind of when the kids are off.
My question was very similar, where you mentioned last year was the first year where we saw more golf courses closed than open. How do we get the younger generation, millennials, Generation X, involved in golf then? And what is the golf industry doing?
What they did is they kind of started the PGA Junior League, and it's similar to a basketball team. You get five or six kids, and they have jerseys and stuff like that. And in certain courses have like a team, and then they'll kind of play each other. Kind of in a it's a golf format, but it's kind of like a team format. So, and it's been very successful, and we're actually going to probably try to get a team from our golf course to kind of compete, because it's a little easier for the city courses because the kids are all kind of there, but we really don't have any homes around kind of our course. So they're kind of doing that. They're trying to get more of a team format. It's kind of cool. They have jerseys with numbers on the back, kind of like you're playing basketball or you're playing football. That's been very successful. So they're kind of really promoting that, and they're doing kind of some of this drive, chip, and putt stuff, kind of like the punt, kick, the pass to the NFL, and they're kind of doing that, and that's been very successful. So they're kind of getting. That's how they're kind of getting some of the kids involved, because just normal golf, I know it's kind of boring, especially with the younger kids. The video games